सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ पेज 96 verse 5 चैतन्यभास्यताहमः तादर्थ्यं च तदस्य यत् इदमंश प्रहाणेन परसोऽनुभवो भवेत्. This fifth chapter, Buddhi Aparadha Prakaranam, Shankaracharya want to say the aparadha, the mistake or the error committed by the buddhi only. We have to do some correction in that buddhi. Which buddhi is committing a mistake because of self-ignorance, because of ajnanam. The mistake is because of ignorance. Once you remove that ignorance from that buddhi, the mistake also will be corrected or eliminated. Ajnanam will go away, jnanam will take place. Once buddhi is enlightened, once it gets jnanam, it will not commit any mistake. Superimposition is the mistake. Adhyasa is the mistake. That adhyasa is because of ignorance in the buddhi. So we have to enlighten the buddhi. Which buddhi is performing a mistake because of ignorance? So you have to give enlightenment to your buddhi, because it is doing aparadha. Because of its aparadha, samsara problem is taking place. So if I want to be free from samsara problem, you have to correct your buddhi. What Acharya says, Sariram Manasu, that means Sthula Shariram, Sukshma Shariram, which is Jadam, inert, it is becoming sentient because of borrowed sentiency. Jadam, inert Shariram, inert mind or Buddhi Antahkaranam. How it is becoming sentient? Because of reflected consciousness, because of Chidabhasa. Therefore, we have to understand whenever we say aham, I am, there are two amshas, Chidamsha and Jada amsha. Chidamsha means Chetana amsha, Jada amsha means Prakriti amsha or matter part, matter amsha. So, two put together aham. Whenever I say I am, there are both. Chit also is there, Chidabhasa, Ahankara is also there. For this Chidabhasa only we call it as Ahankara. Ahamaha, word is used in this Ahamaha. In this fifth shloka, Chaitanya Bhasyata Ahamaha. Ahamaha means Ahankarasya ityarthaha. Ahamaha, Chidabhasaha, Ahankaraha. That means Ahamaha means that buddhi or Ahankara which is superimposed, which is not superimposed, which is illumined by the consciousness. Ahamaha, Aham, Ahankara. Ahankara is nothing but Sabhasa Buddhi. Sabhasa Buddhi is called Ahankara. Sabhasa Buddhi means a Buddhi which has got a reflected consciousness. That is called Sabhasa Buddhi. Sabhasa Buddhi means, Bhasa means here illumination, sentiency. Sabhasa means that buddhi which has got the illumination of that Chaitanyam. How you understand? Buddhi, Jada buddhi, inert buddhi has become sentient because of Sabhasa. Sabhasa antahkaranam. Sabhasa buddhi. Aham. Once aham comes, last class I was telling, the buddhi pervades the part vritti comes, part thought comes. Then comes part jnanam, part knowledge, part thought, part vritti, then part knowledge. So this is a part jnanam. First you see the part, that is called part vritti. Then you know the part. Idam ghataha. This is a part. Idam ghataha. Whatever is idam, this comes under drishyam. Idam, drishyam. Drishyam, I am the drik. So drik, drishya, viveka is easy with regard to the world and me. Aham and idam. I am and I am experiencer, I am the knower, I am the seer of something else. Idam. This. So I am different from idam. It is easy to say when idam is little away from me, even including body I can say idam shariram kaunteya kshetramitya vidhiyate idam shariram. So I can easily distinctly say idam pustakam, idam pushpam, this is flower, this is book, this is whatever this is not me, because it is object of knowing. I am the subject, the knower. Therefore subject and object both are different. So idam is different from me. Whatever is idam, this is different from me. It is easy to say when it is away from you, it is distant from you. I told you this sloka is difficult to understand because this idam, what he is talking, including your mind, buddhi, also idam only. If you remember my Drigdrishya Viveka, long before one of my camp I took, Drik Drishyam, mind is the Drik of the world, Drishyam. World is the Drishyam, seen by the mind. Mind is the seer, Antahkaranam is the seer. This is seer. So mind is a seer, Drik, from the standpoint of the external world, Drishyam. Now Acharya talking about seer number 1. Drik aham sakshi chaitanyam. Drik number 1, seer number 1. For seer number 1, what is the drishyam? In the buddhi. Sabhasa buddhi idam bhavati. Sabhasa buddhi idam bhavati. In this sloka, idam amsha prahanena. You cannot separate intellectually you can understand the body is different, I am different, you can say. But buddhi is different, I am different, you cannot say. Easily you cannot separate, even intellectually also, you cannot separate the buddhi. In that buddhi, idam amsha and aham amsha you cannot separate. Very difficult. Why it is difficult? Wherever buddhi, all pervading Atma Chaitanyam is there is buddhi. In that buddhi it is always Sabhasa buddhi. At no time buddhi is away from the Sakshi Chaitanyam. You can never separate the buddhi and Chaitanyam. Buddhi is always with Chaitanyam. Therefore you cannot separate it. Then what to do? How prahanam? How can I do prahanam? Intellectually only you can do that also. By using buddhi only, I am not buddhi, you have to say. That is the essence of this sloka. By using the buddhi, you have to say, I am not the buddhi. So, in the case of Brahman and external world, I am Aham Brahma, Drik, seer number 1. With the help of seer number 2, I see the world. Easy. But how to make this mind antakaranam? Here we take it as buddhi. How to make this buddhi as idam? I have to make it as drishyam now. Because to make it as drishyam, I have to use buddhi. As long as I use buddhi, I cannot be free from buddhi. So sabhasa buddhi also only there all the time. Then how to do? You have to use the buddhi and say that I am not buddhi, I am buddhi vilakshana sakshi chaitanyam. You have to say. That is the meaning of this sloka. He says, consciousness, mind, I cannot separate. Number 1. I cannot separate them. Point number 1. Suppose I separate. Suppose. It is not possible. Suppose I separate, what will happen? In pure form, the knower never exists. In pure form, the knower of objects can never exist. In pure form, Chaitanyam in pure form never be a knower. Chaitanyam in its pure form, Shuddha Chaitanyam, it can never be a knower. This is point number 2. Or you can say Chaitanyam in its pure form, it can never be a seer. Chaitanyam in its pure form, it can never be a knower, it can never be a seer, it can never be an experiencer without buddhi. Without buddhi, it can never, Chaitanyam can never be a knower, observer or experiencer. It can neither observer nor experiencer or knower or seer. Then what? Because Chaitanyam is all pervading, I cannot stand separately as pure Turiyam. Turiyam without mind. I cannot stand as Turiyam separate from the mind. If I separate my mind, I cannot know anything. I am not a knower, I am not an observer, I am not a seer, I am not an experiencer. Then what? Turiyam Shuddha Brahman Shuddham Manjulva. Shuddha Brahman, pure Chaitanyam, cannot know anything. So to say Aham Brahmasmi, you have to use buddhi. You have to use useless buddhi, you have to use and say you are useful for some time. Afterwards you are useless, go on cholanu. Like that you have to say. Therefore there is no time when the Chaitanyam is away from the buddhi. So I, the Sakshi Chaitanyam, am Anubhavaha. Here Sakshi Chaitanyam is called Anubhavaha. Now look into the shloka. With this background you can try to understand and apply to yourself. Chaitanya bhasyata ahamaha. Yat is there in the first line, last word. Yat means yasmat. Yasmat means since. Next, ahamaha, in the middle it is there. Chaitanya bhasyata ahamaha. Then asya is also there. Asya ahamaha means asya ahamaha ahankarasya ityartha. Yasmat asya ahamaha. Asya means ahankarasya. Ahamaha ahankarasya Chaitanya bhasyata. Chaitanya bhasyata means buddhi, that which is illumined by Chaitanyam. Chaitanya bhasyata means buddhi, that which is illumined by Chaitanyam. Once buddhi is illumined by Chaitanyam, what this buddhi does? I am a karta, I am a bhokta, I am an enjoyer, I am a doer, I am a knower, all will come in the mind. This kartrutvam, bhoktrutvam, pramatrutvam, all are possible. Chaitanya bhasyata ahankarasya ahamaha ahankarasya chaitanya bhasyata. This is the first job. Then next one, tadarthyam. Tadarthyam means buddhi is dependent on chaitanyam. Buddhi is dependent on chaitanyam. Yasmat ahamaha chaitanya bhasyata tadarthyam cha tasmat. Tat means tasmat buddhi anatma bhavati. Buddhi means ahankaraha anatma bhavati. You have to supply buddhi tadartham cha chaitanya bhasyata, because buddhi is depending upon atma to get illumination, and it is dependently existing upon atma. Therefore, whatever is dependently existing, it is anatma. Anatma. Buddhihi anatma bhavati. You have to supply. Buddhihi anatma bhavati in the first line. So first line clear? Yasmat karanat. Since this ahankara, asya is there ahankara. Ahankarasya ahamaha. Here ahamaha chaitanya bhasyata. Asya tadarthyam cha. Asya and ahamaha both are the same meaning. Two jobs are happening to buddhi here. One is chaitanyam is illumining the buddhi, and buddhi is dependently existing upon chaitanyam for its illumination, for its kartrutvam, bhoktrutvam, pramatrutvam. It is dependently existing upon chaitanyam. It is borrowing sentiency from chaitanyam. Therefore, tadarthya means it is depending upon chaitanyam and it is illumined by chaitanyam. Two jobs are happening. Therefore, ahamaha chaitanya bhasyata asya ahankarasya tadarthyam cha yasmat tasmat. Therefore, it is ahankaraha or buddhi anatma bhavati. Since it is dependently illumined by chaitanyam, dependently existing for its kartrutvam, bhoktrutvam, pramatrutvam, therefore it is anatma. Buddhi, I am not. I am the illuminator of buddhi. I am the supporter of buddhi. Supporter is satyam. Supported is mithya. So anatma. This is the first line. Now come to the second line. Idam amshasya. Idam amsha. Amshasya ledu. Idam amsha. Idam means anatma amsha. Idam amsha. That is why you say my buddhi. Just as you say my clip. What is mine is not me. My clip, when I say this is my clip. This, when I say this is an object. I am the possessor of this clip is the subject. So subject can never be the object. Object can never be the subject. This is my clip. Like that, my clip, just as you are saying what? My intellect. My intellect. Apply the same law. My clip is not me. My clip is mine but not me. Apply the same law. My buddhi, my intellect is mine but it is not me. Over Vedanta. Arivi illadavan anardham. Don't mistake. Don't take in a negative meaning. Take in a right spirit. Okay. Take it in a right spirit. My buddhi, when I say, see the logic here. Whenever I say my intellect, what is mine is not me. That means I am not the intellect. Mano buddhi ahankara chittani naham. I am not the mind, intellect. So my intellect, therefore it is not me. Then who am I? Sakshi Chaitanyam Aham. My buddhi, when I say this intellect, since it is internal, I am using the buddhi to talk. Understand? Clip is outside. Clip is outside, this is clip, this is my clip. Very nicely I can say. But the truth is, what about buddhi also? I am using my buddhi. I am using my buddhi, I am using my intellect. Using my intellect, using and sonnali enartham karanam. Buddhi is a karanam. Intellect is a karanam. I am the karta, the user. So karanam is always different from the karta. Karanam, buddhi is karanam. How can I be buddhi? I am the user of the buddhi. Therefore, idam amshaha. Idam amshaha means my intellect. When I say my intellect, this is my intellect. Even though it is internal and more proximate, more close, I cannot separate it. Clip means I can separate and keep it away, some distance. Body also I can say and touch and say this is my body. How can I say this is my intellect? Come on, show. When I am saying I have intellect, my intellect, I am using intellect. That is the problem. That is why there is a difficulty to separate the buddhi from me, the Atma. Intellectually you have to separate. Idam amsha prahanena. Idam amsha ahamaha amsha. Buddhi amsha. Idam means buddhi amsha. Idam amsha. Prahana means negation. In the form of thought only. How you negate? How you falsify? In the form of thought alone. In the form of thought. No question of dismissing. You cannot dismiss. Only you can say it is false, it is not me intellectually. No question of dismissing totally. If you dismiss totally, you won't exist. Aham won't exist. If you dismiss totally. To say aham, buddhi is required, instrument is required. This aham, Sakshi Chaitanyam pervades the buddhi, aham vritti takes place. In that aham vritti to take place, in the buddhi only it takes place. That aham brahmasmi also must come in only that buddhi. So wrong buddhi ni right buddhi matanam. Now I have to convert. Only conversion, full conversion. So buddhi alone says, I am the knower. Buddhi alone says, I am the knower, I am the doer, I am the enjoyer. Now this enlightened buddhi, in that buddhi only the knowledge has to come. What is that enlightened buddhi? I am neither knower nor enjoyer nor doer. Buddhi alone says, I am Sakshi. Who says, I am Sakshi? Pure Turiya Atma says, I am Sakshi? It cannot say. I am pure Sakshi, Buddhi Vilakshana Sakshi to say, Buddhi alone says. Enlightened Buddhi says, I am Pramata is ignorant Buddhi. I am not Pramata also. Really speaking, this knowledge should come where? In the Buddhi alone. Because it is in the form of thought. I am not buddhi, I am not the knower also. That knowledge should come in the buddhi only. How do knowledge take place in the buddhi? The pramatritvam, I am the pramata, knower, from the standpoint of clip. Now I am keeping the clip here. I am the doer of keeping the clip there. I am the performer, doer. With regard to external objects, I can say pramata, karta, I am enjoying the benefit of this clip. I am the bhokta. I can say with regard to this. Now with regard to buddhi itself, who can say? With regard to all this, Buddhi is telling. With regard to Sakshi Chaitanyam, who will talk on behalf of Sakshi Chaitanyam? Buddhi alone should talk, because Sakshi Chaitanyam cannot talk. வாயில்லாத ஒரு சாட்சி சைத்தன்யம் பேசுவானே, பேச முடியாது. Therefore, Buddhi alone has to say, I am not Pramata, Aham Sakshi Chaitanyam. Buddhi alone has to say. What Buddhi? Idam Buddhi, Idam Amsha. Which Buddhi? I say my intellect, my intellect. My intellect, whenever I say Idam, this intellect, this my intellect, which is very proximate. Once I say this is Drishyam. Once it is Drishyam, who is telling Sakshi Chaitanyam? Along with the help of Buddhi. Eppadi irukka? Buddhi, it is just like keeping the pot in the hand and saying there is no pot. Holding the pot in the hand and saying there is no pot. Like that, holding the Buddhi instrument, and that Buddhi which is focused to Shastra and studying, it has become enlightened Buddhi. And that Buddhi says what now? I am not Pramata, I am not Karta, I am not Bhokta, I am Sakshi Chaitanyam. With the help of Buddhi only I have to say, Idamamsha Prahanena. Idamamsha Prahanena. Prahana means Buddhi Nishedha. Buddhi Nishedha means falsifying the Buddhi. Saha Paraha Anubhavaha Bhavet. Idamamsha Prahanena Yaha Anubhavaha Bhavet. Saha Paraha Anubhavaha Bhavet. Paraha means here aham pada lakshyarthaha. Saha means what? Idamamsha prahana anantaram. Buddhi, after falsifying the Buddhi, when I am talking, I am using Buddhi or not? I am using the Buddhi. Using the Buddhi to falsify the Buddhi. Puriyardo? The toughest sloka. If you understand it is, you can enjoy that. Very nice. I am using the Buddhi to falsify the Buddhi. I the Sakshi Chaitanyam mixture, no? Aham, when I say Aham, Ahankara also is there, Buddhi also is there, Chaitanyam also is there. I am pure Chaitanyam, I cannot say I am Buddhi. Buddhi falsification, nothing happens. In Turiya Atma, Sakshi Chaitanyam. I use the Buddhi, and I say Buddhi is false. I use the Buddhi, I say Buddhi is false. Idam Buddhi, this Buddhi is false. Prahanena. Who remains once Idam Buddhi Amsha gone? Who remains? Sakshi Chaitanyam, pure Sakshi Chaitanyam. Saha Anubhavaha Bhavet. Anubhavaha means Paramatma Bhavet. Paramatma Bhavet. Bhavet is there already. Saha Paraha means Anubhavaha means Chaitanyam. Saha Paraha Aham Pada Lakshyartha Chaitanyam Bhavet. Have you got it? Kuncham. So slowly you have to assimilate this fact. It takes years together. To assimilate, to digest this fact, it takes years. If it takes years, decades in this Janma, you are really fortunate. At least once in your life you got this point. This sloka, remember, note, Upadesha Sahasri, which chapter number? 5th chapter, 5th sloka. Once in a while open and see where are you. Have you falsified your Buddhi or not? Along with Buddhi only. You have to falsify the Buddhi with the help of the Buddhi. Then who remains once I falsify Sukshma Sariram also? Don't say Karana Sariram remains now. Because the Buddhi, Avidya has gone. Karana Sariram falsified, Sukshma Sariram falsified, Sthula Sariram already falsified. I am Sariratraya Vilakshanaha Sakshi Chaitanyam. Understand? That is the meaning here we have to understand. With this chapter is over. So error is made by buddhi only. So knowledge has to take place in the buddhi only. Understand? Pramatritvam, Kartrutvam, Bhoktrutvam, all these are superimposed upon me, the Atma, Sakshi Chaitanyam, really speaking, all are done by buddhi aparadha, buddhi mistake, buddhi error. And the buddhi ni kondu vandi class lo ukara vechite. It has to sit in the class and do lot of corrections in the buddhi. Then what type of buddhi I have? A beautiful buddhi, which buddhi is enlightened buddhi. Once it is enlightened, it is lightened buddhi, relaxed buddhi. This is called buddhi aparadha prahanam. I have falsified or eliminated the errors done by the buddhi with the help of buddhi. How that help received by buddhi? From where? From Upadesa Sahasri, from the Guru, from the Upanishadic teaching. Now your buddhi can commit errors. Inmel aparadham pannuvani pandakudadu. Even it does vyavahara, it knows it is false. Even it does vyavahara also, buddhi, manasu, chitta, ahankara, sukshma shariram, interacting with the sthula shariram and other sthula sharirams vyavahara, only happening at vyavaharika level. I, the Sakshi Chaitanyam, am Paramarthika Satyam. Having got this knowledge, can I use buddhi or not? I can use. My next class padikkanume. So I have to use the buddhi. I can use the gross body, I can use subtle body, I can use all gadgets happily, and I can say all of them are mithya. False, false, false. Nothing happens in me really. Now this buddhi is enlightened buddhi. Appa. Okay. Next chapter we will go. With this buddhi aparadha prakaranam over. Because why it is over? Buddhi is enlightened now. No more aparadha, mistakes, errors can take place in my buddhi. I use buddhi, errors won't take place. Understand? I use buddhi, but mistake, errors, blunders, my buddhi will not do. Why? Buddhi is enlightened. That's why it will never commit a mistake. If it commits a mistake, again read this shloka. Suppose it commits a mistake, ask that buddhi to read this shloka. 5th chapter, 5th shloka of Upadesha Sahasri. Now, 6th chapter. Visheshapoha Prakaranam. We will read the first shloka. Page number 98. Chitva tyaktena hastena swayam natma vishishyate तथा शिष्टेन सर्वेण येन विशेष्यते. विशेष अपोह प्रकरणम. Prakarana means chapter. Apoha means negation or elimination. Vishesha means attributes. Negation of attributes from Atma. Atma is free from attributes. What we call dharmaha, gunaha, Shankaracharya name it as Visheshaha. That's all. Generally, we don't use Vishesha. What we use? Guna. Guna means attribute. Dharma means attribute. Generally, those two words only we use, attributes. But Shankaracharya want use Visheshaha in the place of Dharma or Guna. Some change he wants, that's all. Always Guna, Dharma, Vai. Dharma Poha, he can say. Guna Poha, he can say. So he want to use a new word, Vishesha Apoha. Vishesha means Dharma or Guna Apoha. Elimination of or removal of or negation of attributes. Before going to that sloka, we have to understand certain nuances, certain important nuances before eliminating the gunas. What are they? Essence of this chapter is that Atma Anatma Vivekaha. Visheshapoha means Atma Anatma Viveka, or Kshetra Kshetragnya Vivekaha, or Purusha Prakriti Vivekaha. Discriminative knowledge between Atma and Anatma. Now let us see some differences between Atma and Anatma. Atma is Chetanam, Anatma is Jadam. Atma is sentient, Anatma is insentient. Number one. Number two, Atma is Druk, Anatma is Drishyam. Or Atma is subject, Anatma is object. Number three, Atma is Nirvikaraha, changeless, Anatma is Savikaraha, changing principle. Vikara Sahitaha, Savikaraha. Atma is changeless, Anatma is changing. In Sanskrit, Nirvikaraha, Savikaraha. Then fourth point, Atma is Nirgunaha, Anatma is Sagunaha. Atma is that which has got attributes. Without attributes. Anatma is that with attributes. Sagunaha. Gunena saha vartate iti sagunaha. Prakriti or Kshetram or Anatma, both are one and the same. Whatever you see is Anatma. Swamini, what is Anatma? Tell me now. In short, whatever you see, whatever you experience, it is called Anatma. It is called Prakriti. It is called Kshetram. It comes under Jagat, Anatma. So your body also comes under Anatma, mind also comes under Anatma, because you are experiencing your body, therefore Anatma. Whatever you experience is Anatma. Yatu yatu drishyam tatu tatu Anatma. So Shariram also drishyam, because I experience. Mind is also drishyam. I am the druk, ever the druk, never the drishyam. Mind is druk from the standpoint of previous chapter that I am bringing again here. Mind is druk from the standpoint of the world. Mind is drishyam from the standpoint of Sakshi Chaitanyam. I like this, seer number one, seer number two. I, the Sakshi Chaitanyam, is ever the druk, ever the seer, never the seen. But mind, the seer role it plays, seen role it plays. It is seer also, seen also. But the seerhood also borrowed from Sakshi Chaitanya, me only. Therefore, it doesn't have original seerhood. Drik status also, drik status of the mind is borrowed, not its original. Therefore, Sakshi Chaitanya, I am ever the drik, never the drishyam. Mind is drik also from the standpoint of the world, and drishyam from the standpoint of this drik number one, Sakshi Chaitanya. Therefore, mind becomes drishyam. Therefore, its drik status is not real status. So what? So what? That world, whatever you are saying, I said Atma is never the drik, never the drishyam. World is never the drik. World is never the drik, ever the drishyam. Ever the drishyam. Body is ever the drishyam, never the drik. Because body cannot borrow sentiency from Atma. Mind borrows sentiency and put a vesham of drik. Vesham da. அது தெரியாமலே நம்ம அந்த திருக்கு வேஷத்தை நிஜமாக நினைச்சி கதை கதையா சீரியல் மேல சீரியல். லைஃப் இஸ் எ ட்ராமா. Whole life is drama happening in the false seer number 2. Whole life drama happening in false seer number 2. Why it is false? Because it is depending upon seer number 1. This is like a shadow. Mind, anatma, it's a seerhood is like a shadow, like a reflection. Your reflected face is real or unreal? Unreal. Similarly, this seer number 2, mind status of, buddhi status of driktvam is also false, unreal. So, nirgunaha atma, sagunaha anatma. One more point also. Atma is ever the drik, I said, never the drishyam. With all these points we have to. Atma is satyam, another last point. So many points we can say. Atma is satyam, anatma is mithya, anritam. Anatma is anritam, mithya. Now the attributes of the mind, body, I am superimposing upon me the Sakshi Chaitanyam Atma. Therefore, I have to claim I am Nirvishesha Atma. I am fat when I say I am fat, I am tall. This I am belongs to Sakshi Chaitanyam. Fatness and tallness belong to Sthula Shariram. Instead of saying my body is tall, my body is fat, what I am doing, clubbing, mixing, messing up, I am fat, I am saying. I am tall, I am saying. Instead of saying my body is tall, and then சொல்லணும். அப்படி சொல்றோமா? We are not saying like that. Happily we say, I am short. Who is short? Sakshi Chaitanam short. Sthula Shariram short. Sthula Shariram short. You are not Sthula Shariram. Then why you say I am short? Tappudane. In the Vishesham, this attribute of tallness, shortness of the body, I am mixing with I am. And clubbing and saying happily, I am short, I am tall, I am thin, I am fat. All belongs to Sthula Shariram. Not over. And Sukshma Sharira attributes also, I am sad. Emotions are taking place in the mind. Antahkaranam. Manasilo, என்னுடைய மனசுக்குள்ள whatever is mine is not me. In my mind there is some emotional turbulence, some failure, some problem because of some illness of body. There is sadness in the mind. What I say? There is sadness in the mind only I have to say. What I say? I am sad. When everything is going fine, there is a happiness in the mind. In the manasukulla romba aanandam inikku. My mind is so happy today. You say, happiness also where? In the mind only. Instead of saying my mind is so happy, what am I saying? I am happy. This has to be dropped intellectually. This apoha, Vishesha apoha. I have to negate these attributes of the body, mind. If you use deliberately, no problem. But you worry about the shortness, tallness, fatness, that's the problem. I am short and my body is short, understood. No problem. But because I am so short, everybody is looking at me, I am short. This is the samsara. I am superimposing the body attributes to me, upon me. I am clubbing and struggling. Mind has got some problems, some issues. My mind is undergoing some problems. Appadi sollamal enna solren? Enakku problem. Enakku problem sollumbodhu kuda and the problem mode I am tadatmyam, oneness with that. Oneness, identity. Apohaha, you have to negate and you have to claim I am nirvishesha atma. I am nirvishesha atma. I am not savishesha atma. Tell me, are you fat or thin in your sleep? Tell me, are you fat or thin? Or you are tall? You are neither tall nor fat in your deep sleep. Where those attributes have gone? That means that tallness, fatness temporarily in Jagradavastha, in Swapnavastha, you are attributing to yourself the Sakshi Chaitanyam. They are not there in the deep sleep. That is why Nimmadiga Tungaram. I am happily sleeping. No turbulence, no problems of mind. I remember in deep sleep. No problems, back problem, pallu problem, talavali. All problems are not there in deep sleep. I am telling deep sleep. That means they are not my intrinsic attributes. They are having arrival and departure. Shankaracharya, instead of taking Sushupti Drishtanta, he takes another Drishtanta in this sloka. Now look into the sloka with this background. Before going to this sloka again, you have to remember three important fundamental laws. LAWS, not LOSS. Namak laws and chonnale LOSS da LAWS, fundamental laws. Vedantic laws, Vedantic rules. I, the knower, can never be known. Rule number 1. I, the knower, can never be known. That means subject and object can never be interchanged. Subject and object can never be interchanged. Then second rule, attributes which are known belong to the known object. Attributes which are known belong to that known objects. Now this clip color, I see yellow color. The attributes of the clip, yellow color is an attribute. It is known by me. It is known by me that known, what is known? Color. Color of the clip. This color belongs to the object or that subject? Object. That means the attributes which is known by me belongs to the object, never the subject. This is the rule number 2. They never belong to the knower. Then third rule is, any attribute is said to be or said to be innate or intrinsic. There are two types of attributes. One attribute is intrinsic. Sometimes some attributes are extrinsic. You know that example. Fire has got intrinsic heat. You cannot separate the heat from the fire. But water has got heat because of association with the fire. Therefore, after some time that water you keep away from the fire, what happens? Water become cold. That means what? It is agantukam. That coolness of that water is agantukam. It has got arrival. It is not intrinsic, it is extrinsic. Whereas fire heat is intrinsic, swabhavikam. So attributes are of two types. Clear? Now these three rules you remember and you can understand the shlokas well. If you remember the future of Atma and Anatma, all those futures you have to remember, and all these three rules also you have to remember, then only this chapter can be understood. Now Vidyaranya Shankaracharya says, person, the hand, when you cut the hand, sometimes the doctors they amputate, because of some accident, they cut the hand. Once he is having hand, he is called Hastavan. The one who has got Hastam, hand, he is called Hastavan. The one who has got strength is called Balavan. Balam asya asti iti Balavan. Dhanam asya asti iti, adi matra correcta solluven. Dhanavan. Dhanam asya asti iti Dhanavan. Balam asya asti iti Balavan. Hastam asya asti iti Hastavan. So when I say I am Hastavan, I have this hand. That's why elephant ki hasti anu per. And the trunk, it uses as an hand. Elephant uses its trunk in the place of hand. It serves like a hand for elephant. That is why elephant is called Hasti. Priyarda. Hastam asya asti iti Hasti. Hasti. So, haste tyakte, chitva tyaktena hastena. If a person hand is cut, suppose, hand is removed, can you call him Hastavan? There is no Hasta. Therefore, Hastavan you cannot say. If it is intrinsic nature, he has to be called all the time Hastavan, Hastavan, Hastavan. But that Hasta can be amputated, be eliminated because of one reason or other. Therefore, Hastavan, that status is Agantukam or Swabhavikam? Agantukam. It is extraneous, not intrinsic. Similarly, Chakshushman. Once you have eyes, you are called Chakshushman. The eyed one, the one who has got eyes. That is also borrowed. Once eyes are not there, you are not a Chakshushman. Similarly, Srotram, other sense organs also. After a certain age, eyes won't function. Ears won't function. Are you there or not? Nirvishesham. After certain age, the person just like a vegetable, nirvisheshanda. Previously, lot of vishesham were there. Lot of eating, lot of seeing, lot of hearing. Ipo enna cheppanna? Ellame pochu. All of them have gone. That means, are they intrinsic? If they intrinsic, they cannot go. That means they are extrinsic. Look into the shloka. Chitva tyaktena hastena. Once the hand is cut, tyaktena is removed, Atma swayam na vishishyate. Atma by itself is not at all having any attributes. Atma na vishishyate. Here vishishyate means it doesn't have any attributes originally. Swayam na visishyate. Na visishyate means not qualified. Hands are gone. Hastavan attribute has gone. If suppose legs have gone, Padavan attribute has gone. Therefore, all these are all losable. All these attributes because of these organs are losable or not? Losable. Therefore, Atma na visishyate, not qualified. extend this to all sense organs. Sistena sarvena tadha in the same manner. One example, Upalakshanam he has given. Just as when the hand is removed, that person is no more a hastavan, tadvat, tadha, similarly, ena visishyate, ena atma, you have to supply few more words. Ena visishyate, because of what are all organs Atma has got attributes. I am fat, I am slim, I am hastavan, chakshushman, all these. Tena, you have to supply. Tena, by those sense organs or limbs, Atma, Shishtena Sarvena. Even temporarily there are there. Shishtena Sarvena means all the other, when the other organs are also, Atma cannot be qualified by the other organs. Shishtena Sarvena means by the other limbs also. Atma na visishyate. Atma na visishyate. More in the next class. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.